Careful, careful, careful. Careful. Yeah, there. Careful. Oh, well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Monday afternoon, and we have had some sickness in our household the last few days. Actually, Brenda's been kind of under the weather since, I don't know, last Tuesday, I guess it was, and yesterday morning, Sunday, I woke up and realized I wasn't feeling too great either. So, just had a very easy day yesterday. Didn't even make it to church, just stayed right home. We're assuming it's COVID, but it's not the first time we've had COVID, but we had it one other time a couple years ago, and it was a lot worse than it is now. This one so far has not been too bad, but it still wears you right out. And I want to talk a little bit about farmers and sickness, but I'll see if we can get these horses going, and I will talk about it as we go. As you can see, I have Baron in the furrow today. In the spring, he did a little work in the furrow, but not a lot. And we're going to see how he does today. This afternoon, I'm only going to be working probably an hour. This morning, I came out here with Bill and Ken and Lady and plowed for about an hour. Then I had to go up to Postmas College and get the contract signed for that log job up there. And now I'm back at it here. And I have enough clothes on to keep me warm if it's 20 below zero. And it's just fine. I am warm. Of course, as a lot of you guys know that have had COVID, a lot of chills and body aches, and that's what I'm dealing with, of course. So anyways, let's see if we can't get started and I'll talk a little bit more about sickness and farmers. Cap step. Cap step. Before I talk about it, the main thing I gotta watch out for with Baron is him stepping out of the furrow. As long as he stays in that furrow, everything will just be fine. And he's pretty good so far, so we'll see how it goes. Anyways, sickness and farmers. As most of you guys know, as a farmer, careful, we can't call in sick. If we're sick on any particular day, we don't get paid for sitting at home and recuperating. And I'm not trying to say anything about sick leave and the fact that when you guys on a job that do get to go home when you're sick, that is great because that's really what you need. But farmers just don't have that option. Neither do a ton of other people that are self-employed either. But with a farmer, like myself, it does make it kind of hard. Now, granted, when I was back a few years ago when I was milking cows, it was even worse because you had to go out and do your chores no matter what. And sometimes it made for some pretty miserable morning milkings and night milkings. But usually it was just for a couple days. Unfortunately, with this COVID, it does make it a little bit worse. I know the first time I had it, a couple years ago, Brenda had it first. And in a week, she was pretty well all back to normal. And then I got it. And I was sick with a bit of a small grade fever, or at least chills, for a solid 2 weeks. And about halfway through, I finally said, I can't wait, I gotta get going. It's right in the middle of haying season. And I went down and put down a field of hay and baled up a field of hay. Careful, 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 careful. And I think I paid for it. I think that's one reason why I was kind of had a relapse and kind of had to be sick for another week. I got to get around my corner here, so I'm going to have to quit talking and tend to my business. Careful. Ah. Ah. Careful. I'll try not to repeat myself too much, but when I'm trying to do one thing and trying to talk, it's a little bit hard sometimes. But anyways, Brenda, like I said, she was sick with COVID. Now we say COVID. We're quite sure it's COVID. We didn't get tested. But, you know, Brenda was saying she lost her sense of smell and all the symptoms are there, and more likely it is. But anyways, she is feeling a lot better. Careful, G. Careful, careful, careful. She's feeling a lot better. She's actually gone shopping today, and we took that ride up to Paul Smith College earlier this morning. And but I'm feeling pretty good right at the moment. But with me, it comes and goes, just like it did with her. Now, I don't want you guys to think that I'm some sort of superhuman because I'm sick and I'm still out here working, because it's just not true. I am not a superhuman at all. Careful. I always say I'm allergic to pain, so I do not like to be sick. But anyways, I wouldn't even be doing this except that William is here to help me get him harnessed up and hitched up. He's busy running the sawmill today. But I wouldn't do it if he wasn't here to help do this, the hard part. I'm just driving around the field, and it's only going to be for an hour, and I'm going to call it quits because I don't want to overdo it. Careful. Another reason I'm doing this is because I sort of feel that a lot of people seem to like these videos that I do. Sometimes I kind of wonder why, but anyways. And I know a lot of people are elderly people that really it gives them something to do, so I really don't want to let them down. So I'm doing this video partly because of that also, and I'm just going to make it short, at least I think. So just keep in mind, I guess, when you're sick and laying in bed, you took the day off from work, but you still got paid, that farmers out there and all self-employed people generally do not get paid unless they work. And so it is a little bit rough on them. But that's what we choose to do. Totally happy with that situation. And we'll continue doing that. I did want to say I'd appreciate your prayers for myself and even Brenda as we're hopefully coming out of this, and we'll be out of it quick. But I know a lot of you guys are praying people, and of course I don't want to preach to you guys or convince you guys of, or tell you guys that what you believe is wrong, even if it's different than my belief. But I'm just so happy that I can tell people when I'm sick so that they might pray for me, because I believe in the power of prayer. Sometimes I feel a little bit like, my goodness, I don't need to ask for prayers. This is just a minor thing compared to so many people that have cancer and all this other stuff. But you know, that's kind of I don't know. It's amazing. Our God is such a God that he can see so much and knows what's going on, and he cares for our tiniest little ailments, just like he cares about major cancer that people have. And so I think it's almost wrong not to ask him to help us during these times of sickness, even if it's a small sickness. And you guys can do what you want. I'm not gonna, critique you, and I'm not gonna judge you as to what you do. But for myself, I don't have a problem asking for prayer when I'm sick. And I'm just amazed that our God can deal with all of us in all these situations. As I'm coming around the end here, it's a little tricky because I got to put Ken almost, careful, almost in the furrow before Baron comes into the furrow to make it work. And so it's a bit of a learning curve for Baron, but he's doing really well. Oh, I also wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to a friend of mine. You know, when we're sick like this, it's nice when we can call on others. I mean, it's nice when we can call on God, but it's nice when we can call on others to help us in our situation. And I remember a situation many years ago, probably 35 years ago. A friend of mine, I was back in Vermont, and his name was John Wright, actually. And he came over one time when I was really sick doing sleigh rides. And he actually spent the day giving sleigh rides for me, driving the horses, and he knew how to drive horses. He went on to actually do a lot of sleigh rides himself. So, I mean, just, you know, it's so nice when you're able to go help somebody. It was so nice that he came help me that time. It's just one of those sicknesses I can remember. I just did not feel good, and I had all these sleigh rides booked, and he was able to come over and help me, and I was so appreciative of it. And I want to, even if he might be watching even today, I want to thank you, John, for that. I'm sure you remember that. And also, he does sleigh rides in a little town of Londonderry, Vermont. And he's still doing sleigh rides to this day. And I'm sure this winter he'll be doing sleigh rides. And he's given thousands of people rides because he's right in the ski area district. There's a bunch of ski areas right there. So a lot of skiers come up in the wintertime. They go skiing during the day and then go doing sleigh rides at night. So just out of curiosity, I'm curious if any of you guys have actually ridden on John Wright's sleigh ride in Londonderry, Vermont. Careful step. Careful. Careful. Oh. Well, I'm going to get a little bit more plowing done and forget videoing, and just wanted to get a short video out for you guys. I also want to thank our patrons because Percheron, I'm not sure if I even say that right, because the last video I did, I had a terrible time with my GoPro. This is my old GoPro. It's not that old, but we really use these GoPros hard, and it's had a lot of videos. And for some reason, it got stuck on the slow motion type of video, so my videos were all messed up at the end, so I didn't use hardly any of it. And but anyways, I had a brand new GoPro sitting in the box, ready for me, because the patrons paid for it. The patrons just give us a small donation every month, and all that money goes into a fund that helps buy things like this and our audio and even the computers to do all the editing on. So I just want to thank you guys so much for your participation in these videos and your willingness to help financially to do that. And I'm not trying to get more people to be patrons. I'm just not. So you guys that think I'm out in this for the money, don't think that. I'm not asking for money. But I just appreciate so much you guys that do help to allow us to do these videos. So I better get going because I don't think I'm going to last too long and I'm going to get tired out. But hey, if I get 1 hour of plowing, I'll be mighty happy. All right, careful step. Careful. Careful.